When stars come out and skies turn deep, it's time for hearts to softly keep the love of God, both big and small, to share with others, one and all. Be kind to friends, both near and far. God sees your heart just where you are. A smile, a hurt, a hug, a gentle word can spread His love through all the world. Your God loves hearts that shine, not stun. Show tenderness, that's all, not stun. The quiet ones who help, not stun. Show tenderness that shine, not there. When someone stumbles, who help with care.
David, shepherd, warrior, king.
In the ancient lands of Judah, nestled among rolling hills and verdant valleys, lived a young shepherd named David. He was the youngest of 8 sons of Jesse, a humble man from Bethlehem. While his older brothers were strong warriors, serving in King Saul's army, David spent his days tending sheep, guiding them through rocky pastures, and protecting them from wild beasts. David wasn't just a shepherd, he was a musician too. With a heart full of devotion, he often played his lyre, composing beautiful psalms that echoed through the quiet fields, praising God for His creation. One day, a great fear swept across Israel. The Philistine army had gathered for war, and among their ranks stood a giant warrior named Goliath, who challenged anyone in Israel to a one-on-one battle. For 40 days, Goliath mocked the Israelite army, boasting and daring anyone to face him. King Saul and his seasoned warriors were paralyzed with fear, none daring to step forward. David, sent by his father to deliver provisions to his brothers at the front, heard Goliath's taunts. His heart burned with indignation. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? He declared. His eldest brother, Eliab, scorned him, accusing David of pride and neglecting his sheep. But David stood firm, his conviction unwavering. Word of David's courage reached King Saul. Though skeptical of a mere shepherd boy, the king agreed to meet him. Let no man's heart fail because of him, David told Saul. Your servant will go and fight with this Philistine. Saul offered David his own armor, but it was too heavy and cumbersome for the young shepherd. I cannot go with these, for I have not tested them, David explained, laying aside the heavy bronze. Instead, David chose 5 smooth stones from the riverbed and placed them in his shepherd's pouch. With his sling in hand and his staff, he walked towards the giant. Goliath, seeing a mere youth approaching, scoffed. Am I a dog, that you come to me with sticks? He roared, cursing David by his gods. David, undeterred, responded with unwavering faith. You come to me with a sword and with a spear, and with a javelin. But I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and I will strike you down and cut off your head. And I will give the dead bodies of the host of the Philistines this day to the birds of the air and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. And that all this assembly may know that the Lord saves, not with sword and spear. For the battle is the Lord's, and He will give you into our hand. As Goliath advanced, David ran swiftly to meet him. Reaching into his pouch, he pulled out a stone, placed it in his sling, and hurled it with all his might. The stone struck Goliath squarely on his forehead, sinking deep. The giant staggered, then fell face down to the ground, defeated. David then ran and stood over Goliath, taking the giant's own sword. With a swift movement, he drew it from its sheath and cut off Goliath's head. When the Philistines saw that their champion was dead, they turned and fled in terror. The Israelite army, emboldened by David's victory, pursued them, driving them back to their borders. David returned to Jerusalem, a hero, carrying Goliath's head. His act of faith had not only saved Israel, but had also inspired a nation. From that day forward, David's fame grew. He became a trusted warrior in King Saul's army, renowned for his courage and skill. However, King Saul grew jealous of David's popularity, attempting to harm him multiple times. David, always respectful of God's anointed, refused to raise a hand against Saul, even when he had the chance. Instead, David chose to flee, trusting in God's protection, and waited patiently for the Lord's timing. After Saul's death, David was anointed king of Judah, and later, all of Israel. He established Jerusalem as the capital, a city that would become known as the City of David. As king, David led Israel with wisdom and strength. He brought the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem, further solidifying the nation's spiritual center. He was a just ruler, deeply committed to God, though he faced his own struggles and made mistakes. Yet, he always returned to God with a repentant heart, seeking forgiveness and guidance. David's reign was marked by both military victories and spiritual leadership, expanding Israel's borders and establishing a legacy that would echo through generations. His story is a testament to the power of faith, humility, and courage. It teaches us that true strength comes not from our own might, but from our trust in God. No matter how small or insignificant we may feel, with God, we can overcome any giant in our lives. David, the humble shepherd, became a mighty king, proving that God often chooses the most unexpected individuals to fulfill his greatest plans. The moral of David's story is that faith, courage, and obedience to God can overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges, and that true leadership is rooted in a humble and devoted heart.
God sees your heart.